Here's a fact that may shock you. Fentanyl, a powerful synthetic opioid, is 50 times more potent than heroin and 100 times more potent than morphine. This synthetic nature of fentanyl contributes significantly to its unparalleled strength and danger. Unlike naturally derived opioids, its potency isn't diluted, meaning every grain can be a lethal dose. The shocking scale of fentanyl's potency is hard to comprehend, but it's crucial to understand. In other words, even a tiny amount of fentanyl can have devastating, often lethal effects. To truly grasp the severity of the fentanyl crisis, let's delve into some alarming statistics. Fentanyl, a powerful synthetic opioid, has been devastating communities around the globe. In the United States alone, deaths from fentanyl have skyrocketed in the past decade. From 2013 to 2018, fentanyl-related fatalities increased by a shocking 1,000%. It's not just an American problem, however. The United Kingdom saw fentanyl deaths double between 2016 and 2017. In Canada, during the same period, fentanyl was responsible for 72% of all opioid-related deaths. These numbers paint a chilling picture of the fentanyl crisis. It's an issue that's rapidly worsening, with no signs of slowing down. In fact, the World Health Organization reported that in 2019, nearly 50% of all global opioid-related deaths were due to fentanyl. This powerful drug has changed the face of the opioid crisis, contributing to a significant and tragic increase in the number of lives lost. But remember, these numbers aren't just cold, hard facts. They're not merely points on a chart or figures in a report. These numbers aren't just statistics. They represent real people, real lives lost to fentanyl. What makes fentanyl so deadly, you might ask? Well, let's delve into the dark world of this potent substance. Fentanyl, a synthetic opioid, is up to 100 times more powerful than morphine. Its potency is what makes it so incredibly dangerous. When someone ingests fentanyl, it acts swiftly on the brain, binding to opioid receptors that control pain and emotions. This process amplifies dopamine levels, creating an intense state of euphoria. However, this initial rush of pleasure is fleeting and is followed by a dangerous side effect: respiratory depression. The drug effectively slows down the body's breathing rate, which can lead to a complete stop in severe cases. An overdose of fentanyl can happen quickly and without warning. It's a silent and swift assailant, closing its victims in its lethal grip before they even realize what's happening. And what's more terrifying is the fact that fentanyl is often mixed with other drugs, such as heroin or cocaine, without the user's knowledge. This can lead to accidental overdoses, as the user is unaware of the deadly cocktail they're consuming. Fentanyl's potency is such that a lethal dose can be as small as 2 milligrams, equivalent to a few grains of table salt. That's right, the difference between life and death could be a speck so small, it's often invisible to the naked eye. If you like this content, please consider subscribing to our channel. With your support, we can continue to bring you content like this. The fentanyl crisis isn't a distant problem, it's right here, right now. This is not a mere issue that we read about in newspapers or watch in the evening news. It's a harsh reality, a shadow that looms over our communities, our families, and our loved ones. It's time we moved from awareness to action, from passive spectators to active participants in this fight against fentanyl. Empower yourself with knowledge. Learn about fentanyl, its devastating effects, and its frightening prevalence. Understand that this is not an illicit drug that affects only a certain group. It's a silent killer that doesn't discriminate, crossing all socioeconomic boundaries. And how can you get involved in combating this crisis? Start by supporting organizations that are on the front lines, battling this epidemic every day. These groups need our help to continue their vital work. Lend them your time, your resources, your voice. Moreover, advocate for policy changes. Our current systems are failing to adequately address this crisis. Push for legislation that prioritizes prevention and treatment over punishment. Encourage lawmakers to focus on education and harm reduction strategies. Remember, you are not powerless in this fight. Each one of us can make a difference. Each one of us can contribute to turning the tide against this epidemic. Knowledge is power. Arm yourself with information about fentanyl and help spread the word. One conversation could save a life.